Hello, lovely people. Welcome to our weekly reading for the week of the 24th of April 2023. I hope you are all well. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing what the cards have to tell us this week. So I'm going to do another 3-card reading, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different format because I've decided to do a relationship card reading for this week. And so we're just going to pose questions for each of the cards that come up for this reading. So let's see how we get on. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. And we have the Ten of Cups. Okay, so as always, three very interesting cards. Particularly in terms of the kind of format that I'm going to do this week. So if we apply the first card to you, that would be the question here will be, what energy or expectations are you bringing to this relationship? Okay. And so we'll work with that first. So here we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Pentacles is very much about you, or aspects of you. And what we're looking at here is sort of Pentacles, first of all, is the suit that governs relationships, values, and practical matters, family finances, and there's very much a sense of worth and value with this suit, with the Pentacle suit. So the Pentacle suit is associated with the element of earth. So we're looking at sort of solid ground, either solid ground or impractical foundations. So this is where we're coming from with Pentacles. Pentacles tend to be very concerned with realism. They're the most kind of realistic suit in the tarot. So in terms of a relationship, then this suit is looking at how realistic is this relationship. And it can kind of reveal current financial issues that could reveal, that might surface in a relationship. So the Pentacle suit also refers to kind of like work stress and the impact that might have on a relationship. But whatever, the Pentacle suit is always concerned with long-term success. It's that long-term is very much a Pentacle thing. And this will, in what we're doing, it will include relationship success. So it may not be the sexiest suit, but it is the suit that will kind of lead to stability. So if we go back to our question here, like what energy or expectations are you bringing to this relationship? So the Queen of Pentacles is a very patient person, and is very focused on the long term. So this Queen, she seeks relationships that promise long-term security, both emotionally and financially. So she will be a workaholic, and possibly, she could benefit from stopping to smell the roses in her beautifully mature garden that she's worked hard to produce. She's ambitious but modest, and the Queen of Pentacles is also accommodating, but she's firm. And she has a real desire to raise the standards in her relationship, and to raise them in a way that will reflect her sense of self-worth. So this is you we're talking about here. This is your desire to raise standards in your relationship to reflect your self-worth. So we're looking at a master of balancing kind of like external obligations with the needs of loved ones. This queen is self-motivated, and she also does require time away from her relationships to invest in her career or her education or, personal projects. And again, I'm going back to, we're talking about you. These are aspects of you. So we're looking at somebody that would expect a lot of herself. This is the Queen of Pentacles. She has very high expectations of herself, and therefore she's going to have very high expectations when she's looking for a partner. At her best, at your best, you're prosperous, you're stable, you're dependable, and possibly at your worst, you're stubborn. You may be anxious, you could be materialistic, or, an extreme perfectionist. So, we're looking at practical, generous, hardworking, a very warm person that has a talent for business and that likes comfort and luxury. So, beautiful, beautiful Queen of Pentacles here. If you look just down here, we have the rabbit that is running. And, this rabbit could, could signify a kind of like an intense physical attraction. But it could also be accompanied by a sort of nervous anxiety. And so this could be present, but this queen, she doesn't project too far into the future because she tends to stay very, very much in the present. Because what she's doing is she's cultivating her foundation slowly and steadily. And she's doing this with time and patience because this is the Pentacle suit. They cultivate their foundations slowly and steadily. And so this Queen of Pentacles governs long-term security and well-established relationships. This is what she's after. So this is, again, going back to, this is you we're talking about. This is that aspect of yourself. Investing in shared gold for the future, perhaps, making pleasure a priority. Now, this card is also about getting out of your head and into your body. So it's a kind of like about, feeling what's right for you. And, or it's maybe more kind of probably about encouraging you to feel, feel what's right for you in your body. And this card can also be signify fertility. So this queen, she desires a partner who is financially stable and patient and practical. So pretty much like a mirror of herself. She's not swayed by by passion alone. She's very much about tangible results. Tangible results, yeah. So if we move then to the next card, we're now looking at the Ten of Swords, which is, kind of a bit of a dark card here. Not the card we always want to see coming up in a reading. However, it is a very interesting card and a very, very important card. So this is the card. We are now looking at the other person. We're now looking at your love interest. And this card is saying, like, what energy or expectations is your love interest bringing to the relationship? So, kind of interesting this. So this card is pretty much about what's going on beneath the surface with the person you're kind of inquiring about, if you like. And it's also kind of revealing hidden issues that this person might be struggling with. So I think this is a fascinating card to come up, really, because the Ten of Swords is very much urging you to confront and accept when it's time to end something painful. So let's think about that for a moment. Now, the ending is not always the end of a relationship. The ending could be self-sabotaging behavior that is maybe keeping you suffering or keeping your love interest suffering. You know, maybe there is an element of them, because we are looking at the other person here. So it's kind of like an element of them stabbing themselves in the back by repeating a destructive cycle. And the Ten of Swords here is acknowledging you, i.e. them too, to acknowledge and change that, which of course is really important when you're in a relationship, that this sort of thing is brought to the surface and dealt with. Now, you know, we all know that it takes courage to honestly acknowledge our hurt and to make and to make the required change that goes with that. So this card is very much about letting go of who or whatever it is that's torturing you or them. So if this is your if this is what the other person is bringing into the relationship here, then this is something you need to confront. And it's, you know, either they need to change their way of dealing with things, or possibly you need to think about ending this relationship. Because it is about letting go of whoever or whatever it is that's kind of causing you this pain. So the Ten of Swords can highlight a major ending that either you or maybe your love interest, is still reeling from. So this card is saying, you know, to try not to rush forward if time is still required for healing, stroke, if you like, resolution. Because a healthy relationship can only take root if past issues are confronted and resolved. And it's interesting, like, you know, I'm going to use this word "can only take root" because the Pentacle suits it's an earth. The Pentacle suit is an earth suit, the element of earth. So we are looking at, I mean, the roots take part in the earth. So, you know, so it's very, very important to confront these issues and resolve them. Now, this card can also alert you if you're falling into a self-sabotaging past cycle, in a new relationship, because it's not uncommon for people to bring old stuff into new relationships. And if you haven't resolved a self-sabotaging behavior and it has been in your past, then if that's not resolved, you will bring it into a new relationship. That's just par for the course. So the Ten of Swords, it can represent a difficult issue that you may be feeling more comfortable avoiding than actually talking about. Again, so common within relationships, within ourselves, and this could signify a painful breakup. You may be feeling stabbed in the back by a heartless behavior, if you like, of someone that you thought you could trust. So the Ten of Swords, it's kind of teaching us to accept the ending of a relationship, or it's about the ending of a destructive pattern that you yourself are resisting. You know, we're really good as human beings, we're really, really good at rationalizing our discomfort away, especially if there's a payoff for hanging on to this destructive pattern and or even this destructive person, you know, and you might want to have a little think about what that payoff could be. You know, are you somebody that doesn't like being on your own, and therefore, you know, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't? Or maybe it's more preferable to be with somebody that's destructive to your well-being, you know, rather than to have to go through breaking up a marriage or relationship where you both maybe own a house and you have to go through the who owns what and how are we just how am I going to manage financially, or do you have children and how is that going to impact them? And it is, you know, breaking up, I know it's kind of like a cliche in the song, but it really is the hardest thing to do, because it's not just about oh, I don't like this, so I'm going to leave. There is so much involved. And, you know, I have heard people kind of say, a little smugly, if I must say, you know, oh, well, you know, we worked through our troubles, you know, and we've stayed together. Well, not everybody does work through their troubles, and not everybody is able to work through their troubles. And it takes two people to work through your troubles. It's not just, doesn't just take one person. It takes two. It's bloody hard work. And, you know, sometimes it's just time to end things. Sometimes it's the right thing to just recognize that we're not right for each other. It's the best thing to allow each other to go forward into a future that they can create and that you can create that is right for you. So this really is kind of what the Ten of Swords is all about. It's telling us to confront, first of all, what the issue is, and to accept when it's time to end something painful. And because, you know, if we don't do that, if you don't do that, your fear will continue to invent excuses, to cling to what's hurting you. And so this the Ten of Swords is appearing when pain can no longer be denied. And to be honest, like maybe no longer endured. So it's about maybe having to accept and make changes. It's kind of about honoring yourself. And because, you know, when when we're talking about a love relationship, we're talking about, I mean, love isn't about hurt. It's about, there's nothing hurtful about love. Now, if we look at the kind of association of swords, we're looking at the kind of element of air here. And air rules our current thoughts. It rules our mindset and our fears that we may need to communicate. So this is what the Ten of Swords is about. It's about being able to communicate our fears. And swords can also show how a person thinks about their role in the world, in their world around them, if you like. So it can reveal it kind of what a person might think they deserve. So do you think maybe that you deserve somebody that's perhaps not treating you right? That doesn't have your best interest at heart. And if this is what you think, then this is kind of situation. This card is asking you, you know, if this situation is unworthy of you, well, why the heck are you tolerating it? So we're looking at those questions. What ingrained beliefs are contributing to your acceptance of the unacceptable? What is it that you believe about yourself that you think this is okay? And what is it about your situation that makes it very difficult for you to end this destructive behavior? Whether it is self-sabotaging behavior or whether it is a relationship that needs to go, whatever it is, it's kind of like there is self-sabotage in there, because swords kind of are about they're about your fears, your mindset, your fears, your challenges, and your sense of victimhood. And although it's really hard to confront this sort of stuff, if you do, it will lead to huge personal breakthrough. So it's about getting your authentic power back. And this is about the swords. And now we're looking at the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is about completion. It's about the end of something. And, at the end of something comes a beginning. So it's the swords here, and particularly the 10 of Swords, it's challenging you to take responsibility for your thoughts and to cut off what is depleting your personal power. Because your personal mindset is what will determine how successful you are in your relationship and your life. So, okay. And the next card we have here, which is just simply wonderful, is we have the 10 of Cups. Wow. I mean, this is just such an amazing, beautiful card to follow this card here. So let's, start with the Cups. The Cups are mostly associated with love. So yay, amazing. The element associated with the represents the Cups is water. And this element reflects the unconscious feelings that churn beneath the surface. And so it's not, the cups, they don't always reveal facts, but they reveal the feelings and emotions that are triggered by kind of issues or a person. So feelings and emotions, they can kind of unconsciously distort, your perception of reality. So the cup cards, they can help you to become more self-aware of the emotional undercurrents that are influencing your expectations and behavior. So this is kind of an amazing card, isn't it, to come after the 10 of Swords, which is telling you to exactly do that. How fabulous is that? And so this card is the 10 of Cups. It's the Cups suit is about understanding your feelings so that they can help you to channel them more constructively. So here you're kind of denying your feelings because it's very much about thought and mindset and stuff. And this card is telling you to go beneath that and to become more aware of your feelings. So the card 3 in this reading, it's about the actual relationship. And it's saying, the question here is kind of what challenges or if you like opportunities will arise in the relationship if we decide to be together. So this is a really, really, really good omen because this card is revealing the kind of the health of the relationship and any kind of potential issues that might need to be resolved within your partner or yourself. And as does this one. So here, the 10 of Cups represents joyful resolutions. And it's always a reminder that there's hope for future happiness. So with this card, I'm saying that there is stability. So we're looking at, this is the Queen that wants stability, and she wants a long-term relationship, and she wants security in her relationship. And this is the stuff that needs to be dealt with. And it needs to be, stuff that's under the table. It needs to be just plonked up there on the table, sorted out. Let's be honest in this relationship, because that's what this Queen requires. And this card is telling you that if this happens in a very positive, productive way, then this is the result. So the result is joyful resolution, and it is that reminder that there's hope for future happiness. And so this card is it's mirroring, kind of like divine timing. What is meant to be yours will be. It will happen, and it will happen at the appropriate time. No matter what trials or worries that you kind of had before, this card is promising happiness, that and it will eventually return. Now, again, we're saying in this kind of a reading, we're looking at a relationship that is happening at the moment, and what is required from this card to bring here. That will promise happiness returning. So this card is about being present. It's about having gratitude, and and expressing gratitude, because love is always attracted to those who already hold it in their hearts, and it's about opening yourself to this kind of bliss that you seek, and that seeks to find you. So it's quite a spiritual card, this, really, because this card is telling you that your best days are ahead, and it's kind of, I'll go back to the spiritual part of it in a moment, because it's kind of, this card is also, because it's a 10, it's about completion as well. So it's kind of saying that, likely both parties have endured some difficulty in their past relationships, or in the relationship that you have together. And if you look here, we have the rainbow here. And, well, rainbows are, they're kind of, it's a reminder. They kind of come from a spiritual place, and they're sort of telling you that you're being looked after by benevolent forces that seek to restore your faith and your faith in love. Now, when do we see rainbows? We tend to see, well, we always see rainbows after a storm, after a good, rainy, trashy storm. And so what this is kind of telling us is that, storms don't last forever. And it's kind of telling us as well that to truly appreciate happiness, you have to be able to endure a storm with courage and with faith. And this is about seeking to restore your faith in love. So this is where we have sort of like the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups also signifies compatible long-term priorities. And this brings us right back to the Queen of Pentacles, doesn't it? This long-term compatible priorities. And this is the Queen that is going to work towards that. So The core of this relationship, it's loving, it's compatible, and it's strong. And also, the other really kind of important thing with this card is that it often appears before when a great relationship sort of rite of passage. And that could be marriage, it could be buying a home, or it could be starting a family. So really, it's a fabulous, fabulous ending. I think it's a fabulous ending to this reading. And so, I'm going to say here, lighten up, guy. Lighten up and engage in activities that you love. And be grateful for your joy and experience, if you like. And for life's vibrancy and colour, engage in all of that, because that is also going to attract that joy and that loving person into your life. If you're not able to experience gratitude or joy, then how are you going to recognize it when it smacks you in the face? So, get out there, love it, love what you have. You've worked really hard here for that, and you've done particularly a lot of work here. So I think after this card, you so totally deserve this one. Fabulous. I absolutely love it. So this brings our reading to an end for this week. And if it resonates with you, do please leave me a comment below. You can subscribe to this channel to be notified for the next reading. And if you would like to know more, you can book a private reading with me. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You can find my email address at the description of this video. So until next week, I'm going to love you and leave you.